Gotta love it. We are live. Hey everyone. Hi, Dan here with Chief Experts, and welcome to the Designer Show. This is show number 90, I believe. So
Wow.
it's amazing. Yeah, we keep
Yeah.
creeping up to that 100 mark. It's kind of fun.
Yep.
Anyway, welcome today, and on with John and our guest, Chris. How do you pronounce your last name?
Pasch.
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 Okay, cool. And I think Robin and Renee may be joining us. Robin's trying to. She's having a little technical difficulty. But today we've got a great show. Chris is been a longtime client of mine. He's a contractor, and he has some great information to share. So I'm really excited about what he's got to say here today because it's got a lot of, I don't know, meat in it, I guess you'd call it. And we had a great, Chris and I were talking earlier this morning. We had a great conversation about some things, and he's got some really interesting information to share with you. The bottom line, the number one thing I think that we're going to talk about is recession-proofing your company is not just about the economy. Okay, it goes way beyond that, and that's part of what we're going to talk about today. So we'll have some fun with that. But before we get into that, let me just do a quick commercial or two. So if you're on the show page and you're looking at that, you will notice that below here we got a little information about Chris, and you can click on the link here to check out Chris's company. We're going to talk a little bit about a book that Chris is recommending called Rock the Recession. This is a link to the Amazon thing where you could download the book if you want. But I'm going to get it. I haven't heard it yet this morning, but I will. Looks like a really good book. Our summit coming up in February of next year is selling out pretty fast. So there's not, we're almost 2/3 sold out. If you're considering coming to this thing, I wouldn't put it off too much longer. If you want me to hold the spot for you, let me know, and I'd be happy to talk to you about doing that. It's going to be a cool event, and I'm really excited about the people that are coming. I've been interviewing a lot of the people that have been signing up, and we've got some cool people coming with some great information. So we're going to have a lot of sharing going on at this event. So it's going to be fun. Do have a 3-day intermediate class coming up in the Twin Cities here a week from Monday. So it's at a local hotel here. You can find out about that. We have 10 people signed up right now. So there's room for about 5 more. So if you're interested, by all means, again, if you have questions, feel free to give me a call. My number's on the website. And one other thing I'll really want to make you aware of is this thing right here. If your company has employees, all right, you do not want to miss this. Pay attention to this. This thing that David and Jerry are going to talk about could net you about 26 grand per employee. This is a real deal. So Chris, make sure you check this out next week because you have employees. I've been actually I've been seeing commercials on TV about this program. So what Jerry runs a company that will, he'll run through how this program works and how they'll take you through the process. You won't have to do anything. They'll take you through the process. They take a small commission. It wasn't much. He'll talk about that in the show to handle everything for you. And you'll also learn right away if you qualify or not. So it won't cost you anything to check out if you qualify or not. So check out this show. It should be interesting. I've listened to it. I wish I had employees, but I don't. It's just me. And unfortunately, as a business owner, I don't qualify. So that's one of the other caveats. So if you're a sole employee, don't bother because you won't qualify. Anyway, let's jump into our show here. And Robin, I'm going to mute you a little bit. Oh, you are muted. Okay, good. And welcome, Robin. I see you finally got your audio working. So how are you today? You're good? All right, cool. And let's go ahead and jump into this. So Chris, thank you for being here today. Um, when um, when Jolene mentioned that we should have you on the show to talk about what we're going to talk about today, I thought for a second, and then she explained to me a little bit about what you guys are doing. I go, God, that's a great idea. So I'm excited to talk about this. But first of all, Chris, tell everyone a little bit about yourself. You've been in business for a while. Tell us, how you got started in the construction industry and how you arrived at this point.
Well, I got started a long time ago, and as a apprentice carpenter when I was a young man, and we lived in Colorado, actually. My wife and I were latter-day hippies. We lived in our VW bus, and I was a traveling bum carpenter. We lived all over the West.
I bet you wish you still had that VW, don't you? Or maybe you do.
Michelle mourns for it all the time. But we went all over. We have 6 children together, and 3 of them were born while we were traveling around the West.
Oh, cool.
So I got a great experience early on working on some super high-end stuff, because it was, we worked in Aspen, worked in Sedona, Arizona, worked in Bend, Oregon.
Wow.
So got to experience things like that really early, as far as super high-end construction and really nice things and great design. I had fortunate to have a lot of good teachers out there that kind of brought me along. And
so now you were
a carpenter starting out now, because the carpenters make way better money now than I was doing it. But,
as they should. I mean,
absolutely.
With what's going on in the world today, a good carpenter should make a really good living. I've always believed that. And
I do too, 100%.
Yeah.
And that's one of my big missions, is to train young men and hopefully women. We don't get too many that want to join us, but
now fast forward a little bit. You ended up in Maryland?
Yes. Michelle's from Maryland. And we decided to settle down somewhat, and we moved back to the Baltimore area.
Okay.
And we started a design build business there. Actually, at first it was just a deck building business.
Okay.
We did all the design work for it, and we grew into a design build remodeling company, which I started using chief architect in 2005.
Okay.
So we were rolling along great, and raising our family, everything. We thought everything would just keep going on exactly the way it was until 2008. And
I wonder what happened in 2008. I don't remember.
And that's one of the reasons I really have somewhat of a passion about this topic, because maybe us talking about it can help somebody not make some of the mistakes I made.
Well, that, and plus we reinforce what we're working on today to help, for ourselves too.
Exactly.
Well, we all made such crazy mistakes during that. I mean, we saw it coming, and I know for me, I reacted way too slow.
You saw it coming?
Absolutely. That's one of the things David and I were talking about earlier.
Yeah, well, we're aware of it, right? But in 2008, when it started in October, you just never thought it was going to be so deep. But what I know for myself, it's not like I'm pointing fingers at anybody, but other than at me, I didn't react anywhere near as fast as I should have. And that's because I didn't have a plan in place for what to do when that happened.
Yeah. Oh, you froze up a little bit there, Robin.
I ended up losing my business. So we ended up closing. It was a bad thing.
You're probably the only person that happened to.
We did too, Robin. And that's what got us to North Carolina. A family member of Michelle's got us a bunch of subcontractor work at the military bases here. So we came down here, but it's been a great thing for us because we love it here.
So you started your new business only about 3 years ago. Is that right?
That's right. We were before then we were basically a trade contractor doing carpentry work for other contractors.
And yeah, you were telling me this morning that it's pretty tough to get a license there in North Carolina. You have to have so many assets in the bank.
Yes, you have to have a fair amount of money. So it took us a while to get back to where we could get our license and start over or start new.
Okay.
But it's gone really well. And the chief architect has been a huge asset for us.
Yeah.
It was good that I had some experience with it, but it took a good bit to get back up to speed because I'm not sure what I left off with in 2008. It was like
2008 would have been, 12 years ago. Yeah, you would have been X1 maybe, version 10, something like that, possibly.
I think that's maybe what it was, what I finished.
Yeah, give or take.
I think it was actually before that. Version 10 was like
2008. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I had a lot of learning to do, which your new course has really helped me a lot.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Again, we'll fast forward a little bit more again. So here we are today. When was that? That was this earlier in the year, January, February, something like that.
Early spring when we took the marketing class?
Yeah. Jolene, who does a lot of my marketing things for me, she did a course on marketing that you attended. And you and your wife, Michelle, were always there. You were probably some of our top students because you were always there and you were raring to go. You were pretty excited about the whole process of marketing your company properly. So tell us a little bit about that course and where it led you to now.
Well, we were at the beginning of the year, we were trying to decide really which direction we were going with our business.
Okay.
And we knew we needed marketing help. We knew we needed to do more, but we're analog people. Other than chief architect, I don't have a ton of good computer skills.
Okay.
So we thought it would help us to take that digital course, and it did. It opened our eyes up to the potential and also what we would need to do.
Yeah. And I think that's a big part of the course. That's actually a big part, even what I teach in Chief Architect, is you get to see what's possible. Mm-hmm. You get to understand the right process to go through to get somewhere. And I think Jolene did a great job of pointing that out. Now, the overwhelm factor comes into play here because you're already wearing 25 hats every day and you're super busy. And now you want to throw all this marketing stuff on top of that. But you took a different approach.
We floundered around for a few months after and tried to do some of implement the things that Jolene talked about and realized we weren't getting anywhere.
Yeah.
So we reached out to Jolene and asked her if she would take us on as a client.
Yeah.
And so we came to an agreement, and at that time, I was also starting to think about the economic recession.
Yes.
We're just starting to see signs of things that the inflation was starting to take off.
So, besides the inflation, what kind of things were you seeing that caused concern?
I think that was the biggest thing that I was looking at was the rising interest rates.
Yeah.
And I just had a panic moment of flashback to 2008.
Yeah.
Well, also because everybody was saying there's a housing shortage and there's no houses. Everybody has to buy a house. And that's exactly what we heard in 2007. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh no.
Chris, I think the biggest difference that back in 2008, weren't the banks kind of like opening their windows and just throwing bags of money at people?
Different. It was different. For sure.
Yeah. I don't think they're quite doing that now, but
it was completely different. But I just had a flashback.
All right.
And we had an amount of money to invest in something for the business. And we took the plunge and decided to invest it in the marketing.
Okay. So now let's move to the next step then. So you decided you're going to work with Jolene on your marketing. What happened?
Well, we looked at all our marketing assets that we have and realized none of them really made sense with each other.
Okay.
And nothing was really a cohesive whole. So Jolene and her team helped us come up with a better vision for what we wanted the company to look like.
Yeah.
And the one thing we talked about this morning that was really interesting was that through this marketing, we've changed our approach to the business
Right.
almost 180 degrees, which I never expected that. I thought we were going to
You use the
market
term.
what we were doing, but
you use the term rebranded. You rebranded your business.
Yes, we rebranded.
And in that rebranding, what kind of things happened? What did you change?
Well, we changed our website, first of all, but we also changed our message of what we were about and really dove deep into what our strengths were, which is one of our strengths is our team. So we really tried to promote that.
Yeah.
It's and for everybody that's listening, I'm sure they know it's difficult to have a team.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work.
It's a big commitment.
It really is. And to keep everybody working and training, it's a lot. I think profitability, it may be better to not have a team and do everything subcontractor wise, but we really love the people that work with us, and our clients that's what they rave about, really. Like they may not be in love with me as the guy that's always asking them for another check, but they really love the guys that are there every day and, taking care of their dogs and, making sure their cats are okay. And
so part of your
things like that.
So part of your rebranding, I know one thing specifically Jolene was telling me about is you did a lot of decks.
Yes.
All right. But you don't do decks anymore.
Well, it was interesting because one of the things we decided was to not stay in that market. I mean, like I said, I've done decks since as a business since the 90s. So they're easy for me.
Everybody does decks.
But there's a lot of people doing them. And we have the capability to do super high-end work. So we focused on our kitchens, baths, additions. We took Robin's bath design class with you guys also, which was a big help for me as designing bathrooms. And but the one thing we realized just recently is that we can't compete with the standard guy in a truck building a deck price-wise. They can't compete with us on the sort of higher end luxury outdoor stuff. So
that's part of your rebranding. So part of your rebranding, you realize that, we don't just build decks, we really do build outdoor living environments.
Exactly.
Yeah. So great way to refocus on that. Like you say, anybody can build a deck. Not a lot of people can do that, do the outdoor living environment that you guys do. All right, that was cool. So, so as you're going through this change of marketing, okay, so were you guys, I mean, your website looks great, by the way. So you've done some really nice things, that your images, your pictures, everything is fabulous. You've got a blog going, you got testimonials. I mean, when people land here, they're going to, see what you do. You do great stuff. You've crossed that hurdle. Mm-hmm. You've clarified what you do. Okay. You clarified how you do it. Some of your golden rules, you kept it simple. So one of the things that you mentioned that you're using to help. So again, part of recession-proofing your business is to rebrand your business. Focus on what you are really, really good at, and that's what you're going for.
Yes.
That's right. Okay.
Mhm.
Now let's talk, before we go further here, let's talk a little bit about that book that I mentioned earlier. That book called
Yeah, it's
Rock the Recession. And
by
tell me
Jack-
about that. Why is the economy not the only thing we have to worry about in a recession?
Well, the one thing that stood out to me in that book is they spoke about how our businesses can face the same impact of an economic recession for a number of reasons. We could lose a key employee, or a project we were counting on, just say it was in the design phase, and we had it in our books to do, and it's going to be a 6-month-long job. The people backed out of the construction phase. That's a possibility. Michelle and I were in the store a little bit ago, and the lady that was the clerk told us she had a really thriving auto repair business with her husband, but her husband passed away. And they had no type of systems for anybody else to run it. So they basically had to shut down the business, and she had to go to work as a grocery store clerk. So anything can happen to throw us into a tailspin about our business. That is the same impact as the economy going down.
Right.
And now usually it's something you'd never expect. The economy, at least we can kind of forecast it a little bit, but.
Those things that are integral to your business, that if they go down, it shuts you down. So that's that internal part of, the recession of your business. So I guess another way to look at it, if you walk away from your business right now to go take a week at a summit or something, your business will run smoothly without you. And in fact, I've talked to many business owners that are doing what you're doing, and their business, when they leave, their business runs better than when they were there. So, I'm a one-person operation. So if I leave my business goes with me pretty much. So I have to, I constantly am thinking about that. How can I position my business so if I leave, someone else could run it? I think what you've got going, you've got a team in place already. So just doing those things that will help with that. I think that's really cool. So anything else in that book that comes to mind that can help you recession-proof your business? What kind of things are you doing? Are you handing over more control to your employees? Are you systematizing more?
We're attempting to get systems out of here into a structure that people can follow.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that we're trying to do. The other thing is trying to diversify or have multiple income streams.
Yep.
So
let's talk about those income streams for a second. So you've got your designs that you do. That's an income stream. Of course, you've got your kitchen remodeling, your bathroom remodeling, your outdoor living environments that you sell, and everything that goes with those projects that you sell. What else we got here that's part of?
But those aren't different streams. But that's not different. Those aren't different streams because those are still remodeling. Right. So where are those other things coming from?
The repair and maintenance.
Yeah, that's a different income stream that we've just started. Is we're calling it concierge home services. Mm-hmm. So it is more like repair and maintenance of homes. But Dan and I were talking earlier, and I thought this because I was trying to think. Well, it's easy for me to think of different streams, if you will, for building things. But as far as design ideas, like as a design business, which we are a design business, how else can you use your design knowledge and chief architect to make multiple income streams?
Right.
Dan had a few good ideas that I actually want to start thinking about.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's like with everything you do, they're all products on a shelf. Okay. So every project you do is a new product. But your design services, you've got that down. You systematize that. We do this, and this, and this is how we get compensated for that. So what else can you offer in that realm? When we were talking about Matterport, you go out and scan people's houses. and, for insurance companies or for insurance purposes or for the before, during, and after process of a project. There's different ways that you can use that to create more revenue. And then, that kind of goes along with your concierge home services, where there again, now the home services things, I think a lot of people go, I don't want to do that. Yeah, it's all that piddly little work stuff. But I tell you what, the companies I know that do this, man, it's one of their best marketing streams in their business. Okay, because now you're back in your clients' homes that know, like, and trust you anyway, and you're always there reminding that you're still here to help. And oh, by the way, why don't you come and help me do my new exterior living environment?
The other thing I was thinking about that helps your business is your tradespeople that are doing the repairs actually get better at their job because they see what works and what doesn't work.
That's a good point.
So
that's a very good point, because the people that work with us we have on the coast here in Wilmington, we have a lot of exterior rot because of the coastal environment.
Yep.
So our guys have seen a lot of.
So they see what's failing.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of failing things.
Yeah. And again, we discussed this morning, a little bit of, some of that could be insurance work. Insurance work can be extremely profitable if you do it right. You have to know how to work with adjusters and insurance companies. So that's a whole kind of different business. It is a whole different business. It's the difference between new home building, remodeling, and, home services. This is now insurance work would be a whole new avenue. So do you, focus on that, or you just make that part of your home service business? So anyway,
I like what GMP Builder just said, cash flow, because that's the other thing about the recession proofing.
Yeah,
is making sure you have cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
We can't crash our business and run out of cash.
Cash is king. I think we all.
Yeah, that's a huge point about it. Like, I really like that. That's a good point.
Yeah, and I like what Marnie says here. She's a sole owner, designer. How do we continue to move forward with the changing economy? All right. And Marnie, you arrived a little late. You had mentioned, so you missed a little bit of the beginning of this, where we talked about how Chris is rebranding his business, and they don't build decks anymore. They build outdoor living environments, and everything they do, they're putting a new package around it, and that's how they talk to people now. So they're setting themselves up at a new level. In the design world, and I just had a call with a client the other day that his new home design business is down 70%. And he called me and says, I'm kind of concerned about this. What can I do? And we had a long conversation, and same thing, branding, marketing. He does no marketing. He's relied on work from past clients, or, word of mouth, for forever. And it can come back to bite you if you do that. So what can you do to build a digital footprint so that people can find you when the services are needed? And you have to be proactive at doing that. And that's exactly what you're doing, Chris. You're being proactive to make sure that when the economy tightens, when there's more competition out there, that you built a base of clients that you can call on, that know, like, and trust you, and they're not going to call anybody else. Mm-hmm. And that'll help. And then you can start asking them for a referral. Now, we also talked this morning about you're building your email list.
Yeah.
I bet you, I talk to so many contractors and designers. Okay. They don't build an email list of their clients, and they don't stay in touch with them. Yeah, it's extra work, but I mean, how hard is it? You're using MailChimp, simple program to use. You can add people's names. You can put forms on, and people can sign up for something that you give them. And you're doing it now. You're putting out a weekly email?
Yeah, weekly. And we give Jolene what she calls the breadcrumbs for the for the email, and she puts together some things. But just yesterday, I think it went out yesterday, and Jolene put on that we were having this conversation today. And our Trex representative contacted me and said, "Oh, I see you're going to be on the podcast."
Yeah.
So I told him, "Yeah, up to the fame and fortune section."
Yeah. You're in the big leagues now, right? Right. Now we're just having fun sharing information. So that's really why we do this. So you're on Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Perfect. You're building a nice footprint on a good platform that people go to, especially in our age group. Okay. The kids are Instagram, the olders like us are more Facebook. Olders, elders, whatever we want to call us. But anyway, you're doing it, and you've got Jolene helping you with all of this. Some people are really good at just posting things, and I'm not one of them. I don't do a lot on Facebook. Jolene does all of that for me too. So she does my stuff too. It's not cheap, but it's massively helped my business in a big way, and it's helped me too to rebrand myself. So that rebranding I think that is one of the most important things you've done.
I would agree 100% about that, and how it made us think differently about our business.
Yeah, and then
Our personal
and then backing that up with the digital assets to match that brand that you've set yourself on. Mm-hmm. So as a designer, okay, think about some of the things that you can do as a designer. Because a lot of people here are independent designers that don't build. If you're running short on work, go find people like Chris and promote your services to them. But have a little bit of a digital footprint. At least have a Facebook page or something like that. People think Facebook is all this online. I don't want to do all that social media stuff. Facebook allows you to build a website. Okay. That's what your business website page is. It's a Facebook web page that you can add stuff to it all day long. It's no different than going to your website and adding articles to your blog. Okay. So you can do the same thing on Facebook for free. You don't have to have a website. Get a really good LinkedIn profile up there. Make sure your LinkedIn profile is up to date. You can have testimonials there. You can have lots of things. When someone searches your name, typically the first thing that comes up is LinkedIn, if you have a good profile. I see a lot of profiles that don't have anything on them. LinkedIn, it's a free advertisement for you and your services. Take advantage of it. Okay. So let's see here.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
One thing that as I was trying to think about this from the design point of view, that I came across was that as the economy tightens up, more people will be doing DIY stuff.
Yeah.
And as a designer, if you're making a presence on Instagram of giving people tidbits of advice on how to DIY, you can really build your presence during this time, because people will be searching for that stuff.
Exactly.
But I kind of take exception with the giving free advice. I think there's things that you can advice you can give, but I'm not out there to really support, especially as a contractor. I'm not out there to support I'm not a contractor now, but I'm not out there to support the DIYer, right? A long time ago when I was a GC, I used to sell my design independently of my remodeling project, and I realized I was losing a lot of work, right? Mm-hmm. I was giving that and they'd take it to other places. I'm not going to do that anymore, right? So one of the things that as an independent designer that I have done in the past, and I'm not so focused on doing that now, is going back and talking to my clients about maintenance. So I do a lot of sub-zeros in their people's homes, and I will call them and say, hey, when was the last time you cleaned your refrigerator? Not cleaning out the leftovers, that kind of thing, but like really got in there and flushed out the water lines and vacuumed out the the filter and done the things that you're supposed to do to a high-end refrigerator to make it last.
Yeah.
So when the economy was kind of tough, I called a few people up and I said, hey, I'd like to come over with a bottle of wine and talk to you about your refrigerator and talk to you about your dishwasher.
We know why you really wanted to go over there.
I just want to go over there, drink the wine. But, you know, that kind of thing helped because then clients went, oh, Robin's thinking about me and thinking about how to maintain my stuff. But we were just talking about that earlier today with a business group that I'm involved in about giving away free advice. And, you want advice from me, you're going to pay for it. I'm not giving away free advice. What kind of advice can I give away? If
you're the company that does go out to a client's home to look at the project before to sell your design services, to get your client happily involved with your design services, I don't use the word sell, you will offer a complimentary visit. Well, but see that. No, hold on, Robin. All I'm doing is clarifying. Never use the word free. If you're okay doing a complimentary visit, which a lot of people are, call it that, but give it a value. It's normally $200.
Another idea with that is to charge something for it, but say this money's going to go to your favorite charity.
Well, that's actually a really smart idea. But I do charge for initial consultations. Like you go out to the project, you're not getting it for free. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like Instagram, giving away. I see a lot of designers who say, oh, I'm going to do an Instagram thing and give them advice on like how to, oh, you should have 4 drawers in this area or something like that. Mm-hmm. That I'm not doing. I'm not going to give that away to somebody who's going to potentially be, because any advice that I put out on Instagram or on Facebook or any of that kind of stuff has to be, I'm not going to give away free advice so they can go incorporate that onto their own design and do it themselves. Yeah. It always has to be of why I have value, why you need to hire me, and that these are the things that we do, but it's not free advice on social media. Dan, I don't go into anybody's home unless they're paying me. Right. I'm not leaving my office and going to somebody's home. And for anybody who is doing that, you might want to reconsider options, right? You might want to reconsider different opportunities, but it's about giving free advice online. And that's what I was talking about. Sure, I get it. Yeah. Well, I could say the same thing. And I actually am there too, where I don't, I could sit on I could sit on things all day long and talk about chief architect and give away free information. I give away a lot of free information. We do on these shows all the time, and they're free. I mean, Chris, you're volunteering. I mean, John, everybody here is volunteering their time, and it's a ball. I love doing these things. I learn more from this kind of stuff than I do from anything else. Plus, I get to meet a lot of great people. And we get to help a lot of people. So that's what's really fun. And it does result in getting business. So just like Robin's saying, just be, what's the right word? Prudent or whatever you want to call it with the free things you give away. Just whatever you're comfortable with. Whatever you're comfortable with. Well, and this is, Dan, this right what the Facebook user is saying, this is exactly the same thing. When you give away your free tip, your free chief tip, when you personally give away a free chief tip, which is always amazing. Like, who knew that you could do that shortcut, right? What it does is it elevates you, exactly what that Facebook user was saying. It elevates you to a point of, damn, this guy really knows his stuff. I need to take a class with him because I didn't know that, right? But it's different sometime in the world of design because so many people look at design. I mean, I get this all the time. Oh my God, it must be so much fun. I designed a kitchen. You want to come over and look at it? It's like, yeah, it's a nightmare. Oh my God, you didn't even think this thing through, right? There's a difference between that and what does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense when I'm saying this. It does. Yeah,
it does. And it's kind of it's a hard point to know because I think that's one of the things everybody says you're supposed to give away massive value when you're doing your online stuff.
Yeah. Well, and you have to
weigh value.
You have to determine what you're comfortable with there. So, if it helps build your credibility, like and trust, that's important. If all you do is spend all your time giving away free information, that.
Well,
nobody can do that. So
just like what the Facebook user says is, don't give away the secret sauce,
right.
Which I think is so brilliant.
Yeah. You can have all the taste testers that are going, God, this stuff is great. Okay. And then the secret sauce is, well, yeah, come over here and write me a check and I'll give you the recipe. Okay. So exactly. Everybody has to determine where that line is that you won't cross to giving away free stuff.
Exactly.
Okay? You're not going to go out to a client's home and do these wonderful sketches and hand them to them and say, hey, call me if you're interested. At least I hope that's not, nobody's doing that. Because our value, everything that we've learned over the years, everything that people are here learning things today, taking the time to learn things like this, that brings value to your client base. But we need to keep moving here now. So the marketing that you've been doing you updated your website, you're doing Facebook, you're doing Instagram. There's only 2 social platforms you're on, which are the 2 I would highly recommend today. Let me just show you something real quick. I did a search for Chris's name. Look what comes up. Facebook profile, and LinkedIn. Top 3 items for Chris's name. Okay. So be there and do those things well. Okay. You come up under Twitter too. And you don't even have that on your website. You don't have to, all you need is one good social channel. I do recommend Instagram and Facebook for the reason that older people are on Facebook, younger people are on Instagram, and they're both owned by the same company. And you can buy programs that will, you can subscribe. So when you post on one, you post on the other. And I see it looks like you've done a few videos too. That as you move forward, maybe YouTube becomes a good channel for you as well. Anyway, okay. So what else can we bring to the table here? Okay, so we talked about branding, we talked about marketing, getting out in front of people, making sure that you're out there. And I've always, I tell a lot of designers, if they're, slowing down, the first thing you do is start calling some of your past clients. Just pick up the phone and start calling people. And people forget about you as much as you think they won't. They do. Yeah.
Or they don't know that you do something.
Yeah.
I've had past clients hire somebody to do something that we do.
Exactly.
Told me later, if I would have only known, I would have had you do it.
Exactly. Hey, Renee.
Hey.
You made it.
How's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
Good.
Are you out in the world soaking up sun on some exotic island?
Exactly. All work and no play, right?
Yeah. All work and no play. I think that's the other way. All right, cool. I'm glad you could make it. You missed a great conversation here, but we're just talking about how you can stay busy when the economy kind of slows down a little bit. And even if it doesn't, how do you improve how you stand out to your client base, out to the world out there, so that you can have your better projects that are higher profit margin and not necessarily just have better projects, the things that you like to do.
Yeah,
well, Dan, I think you. Oh,
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I missed a lot of the show. Apologies, guys. But
right. We're so glad you're here.
First thing that comes to mind when you say that is diversify or collaborate.
Yes, I like the collaborate thing. We haven't really talked about that too much yet. In fact, I'm glad you brought it because I didn't even have it on my list to talk about.
Well, I think the idea of keeping in contact with your clients, so designer, all I do is design, and I will bring flowers to a client, plants, like during the springtime, during planting season, buy a flat of plants and just say, hey, I'm in your neighborhood. Can I just stop by?
Right.
And that has gotten, I've done it a lot more with, seriously, I've done it a lot more with like a really nice wine, like a rosé, summertime, right? Springtime, everybody loves rosés. It's the time. So I'd buy like a case of wine and call people up and say, hey, I'm in your neighborhood. I'd like to stop by and just bring you a little something. And honestly, one case of wine will easily net me 1 or 2 jobs. Yeah. And I'm not spending lots of money. You know, I'm not going crazy with it, but it's getting, or even I've done the plant thing and just said, hey, I would like to stop by with a little something. I'm not spending a lot of money on plants. It's not just a pansy, you guys. It's something that's nice, right? Yeah. But stop by and bring them something and put your card on it, you know, tie your card on it. It's an inexpensive way to get work because people say, oh, you know what? We have a little job we want to do. And that worked during the recession. When my work is slow, I'll do something like that. And at least I get something, right? At least you get something. It's just a way to stay in contact with those clients.
Yep, I agree.
And when you're face to face, it's different than an email and it's different than a phone call.
I'll never forget my client, Frank Hall, back when my brother and I started remodeling back in the late 70s. We did a fire job for him. And then we did a bunch of other work in his house. And then a couple of years later, I was driving by and I noticed he put a new deck on. And I stopped by and said, oh, how come we didn't call us? Said, no, I didn't know you guys did decks. So,
right, exactly.
Like what you're saying. So, you know,
exactly.
Keep in touch with him. So
another thing that I think is important, and Renee kind of alluded to that, is being willing to move outside your comfort zone. You know, if all you've done is decks and you see that market's drying up, you need to be willing to go and do something else.
Yeah, absolutely. Or do what Chris has done and rebrand your deck service.
Right. Exactly.
Well, that's brilliant. That was brilliant.
Yeah. And someone asked
who
was that asked that if they could borrow your terminology for that. Yeah. Can I steal luxury outdoor living and concierge home services? GMP?
GMP, yeah. I like what you said earlier.
Yeah. Squaresies. That's a good one. I love it. I don't think you've copyrighted those terms, so I would have to say that probably that's okay.
And we asked a number of people about how to name the concierge home services. Jolene had us try it out on different people, different versions of it. Some that included handyman, some that included concierge service. Everybody seemed to like that one the best for what we're offering, which is a little higher end touch.
I'm not sure here in the Midwest, or at least in the market that I would be in, that would be the right term to use. But
yeah.
Well, I don't know. It depends. You know, John, in your neck of the woods up there, you probably have a lot of rich farmers out there that would love. Well,
we do. They love the service, but I'm not sure that name would.
Yeah, they might not
term
like
would be the right term.
Concierge sound a little too frou-frou for them or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true. You betcha. We do homework. We do home repair.
So Dan, I haven't really thought this out. I haven't put this together in a comprehensive thought, but I think one of a core belief in your own company comes from just thinking about the passion that once drove you into even starting that company, and then doing something that's going to make you passionate in a way that somehow that gives you confidence to go out and speak about what you do in social settings. Yeah. You know, a lot of people are uncomfortable about talking about what they do when they're amongst friends, when they're amongst new peers, etc. But
that's a great point, and I'm going to bring up a website I mentioned to Chris earlier, castlebri.com. This is a friend of mine in Twin Cities. Lauren runs this company, Lauren Scherber. And he's got a great website. And they do a lot of work to educate their client base. I mean, they have, sessions where they, how to install windows, how to remodel a kitchen, how to remodel a bathroom. I mean, hell, if you
Dan, you're not sharing your screen, and there it is.
Well, John, you're supposed to do that.
I know. I couldn't figure out where to go. There we go.
Thank you.
There we go.
I haven't seen anybody do it better than Castle, and they're always holding different events, and these guys do a lot of business. But even as a designer, to hold a, go rent a community center conference room for nothing or a few bucks, and put out there in your community that you're going to do a session on how do you do a remodeling plan. And show people chief architect and talk about how you do that and the things they should look out for and things like that. I think that's a great way to get in front of people. So Renee, you're talking about, just suck it in and do it. Best way to learn, best way to get noticed is to teach. And the more you can do that, you don't have to have it done, have to be a big formal thing. You could get half dozen people. Castle does it in their showroom, and they used to bring in wine and cheese and stuff. And I don't know if they still do that, but the other thing I want to show you here on Castle's website, and I want you to go here and get this because Lauren is all about educating the industry, is the process flow chart that he has right here. So it's Castle BRI, go to our process flow chart and study this. And you could even download it in a PDF and then set up your own if you want to. But Lauren does a great job of running you through the process of a complete construction project. And the first part of this, I just over there. Where'd he go? Oh, I closed the website. The first part of this process flowchart is all about the design process. Okay, how you meet with the client, how you go through that, and then right here, doing the design, doing the estimating, and all of the paperwork that gets involved with it. So when you scroll through this and you look at the parts that are involved, that just before you even pound the first nail, there's a lot that goes into this. So there's going to be some things here that you can use in your business.
The other thing I like about his website is he has that cost area.
He does.
Where he breaks down and shows why your bathroom got to cost $75,000 or $50,000 or something like that.
And Lauren also does, he's got some great videos that he's produced. This guy's got more energy than the ever-ready battery bunny thing. But he does, let's see, where's his YouTube channel? I would think he's got those on here somewhere. How come he doesn't have a link to their YouTube channel?
Education Center, maybe?
Oh, yeah, not as seen on TV.
Yeah, there you go.
I love what he's done here. He gives you he takes these through some different projects and tells you why the crap you see on TV is totally ridiculous. Okay.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So he does a really good job with these and just runs you through a process of how these projects work. So
that's brilliant.
Study his website. They've nailed it, man. So when you talk about recession-proofing your business and rebranding and all of the things that go with that, this is a really good example of things that work well. He's been doing this a long time. His father started this business a long, long time ago, probably back in the 70s, and Lauren took it over from his father, and it's just grown it like crazy. So very good company.
That's amazing.
You're reminding me of one of the guys that frequents our show, Chad Holgerson.
Yeah.
Said that he's been getting a ton of work calls from blogs that he's starting to produce on his website.
Cool.
And one of them was a HGTV focused blog as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
How do you decide who to go with to upgrade your marketing? Oh, that's a tough question. I have no idea. Call Jolene. There's a lot.
It has to be someone that you can talk to and somebody that you can trust.
Exactly.
What I wouldn't look for is someone that's going to be a magic fix for your marketing. What I would look for is someone that you're going to build a relationship with on a regular basis, and that you're going to meet with regularly. That's going to do your work for you. And if anybody's got any recommendations, by all means, let me know. I know Jolene. She said she's good for a few more clients before she runs out. Who would be a good one? I wonder if Janet. What's her name? If I can, I do know a couple of names. I will post those on the blog page. If I can think of them. Janet and where's the other one? I'll have to look into that, Amzie. But great question. So, but again, look for someone that you can build a relationship. Don't go with some big marketing company that they're going to sub it off to some guy in the back room and they'll keep bugging you for more, build your logo type stuff. You want someone that's good at this, that you can meet with regularly. Again, I meet with Jolene once a week.
I think the
religiously.
weekly meetings with Jolene are fantastic.
Yeah, it's just
really helpful.
Yeah,
It's helped us to formulate where we want to go.
Yeah, Chad. Okay, so that's cool.
Oh, there's Chad. Cool.
Yep. Chad will be at the summit, by the way. One thing I will mention though, because a lot of people have trouble writing. One of the best things I've ever done for my writing is I use a program called Grammarly. Okay. If you go to Grammarly.com, you can download the free app on your computer, so it'll check your writing as you do it. But when you go here and here, Chris, I was just showing you this earlier, where I took one of Chris's blog posts and I posted it here. Chris's brother writes all these wonderful blog posts.
My son, our son.
Oh, your son. Okay, cool. Yes. And he does a great job, but now you run it into Grammarly and it's going to help you fix any of your grammatical errors. It'll help make your sentences read a little better. Great app. I just can't recommend this enough for your writing, for everything, your emails.
Yeah. It makes you look smarter. It makes you look smarter than you are.
Well, yeah, that's the goal here. So you still have to come up with
because that's what I do.
You still have to come up with the good ideas to write, but it'll help you as you write. So as I'm writing a sentence, I'll just type in what I'm doing, and then it's going to give me suggestions. Or if it doesn't, then it means I nailed it. Great program. So check it out. I can't recommend this enough. It's $150 a year or something like that. The best money you'll ever spend. Or just
the free version will get you punctuation and stuff, but it won't tell you how to rephrase something.
Well, it gets you that, and it gets you the whole, everything I write, it lives on that website now.
Our son Travis has a writing service, and that's what he does is write blogs.
Oh, cool.
Writing services.
Nice.
Should put a link to that on your blog too, Dan.
Yeah,
Chris, send me that. And Chad,
really
if your web guy's looking for
he focuses on construction and MMA jiu-jitsu stuff.
Okay. So if anybody here has any recommendations, send it to me and I'll post it with this video, post some of those links to those people. And that'd be great.
There's this Jasper one that's an AI writing assistant. I've seen a lot of advertisements for it, but I've never used it.
I would use those with caution. Really, the things you write should come from you and your heart.
Right.
I think
so,
that's my take on it.
Mm-hmm.
You say something, Robin?
Well, Renee made a comment about collaborating. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
It's funny you just brought up Jasper, because someone I collaborate with uses Jasper and has great success with it.
Yeah.
So, kind of a funny thing. About collaborating.
Yeah,
I think it's important to know what the industry on the whole is doing, and in order to do that, you need to become friends with people. There's no reason that everybody in this chat right now and everybody on the show doesn't know each other on an intimate level, and there's no reason that we can't be working with each other.
Right.
There's plenty of ways we can kind of construct a business model where that makes sense. So just know that should be open to you, and people are open to talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, you can join our. If you go to my website, you can join our website. We have our Facebook group. You can join there and you can post things. You could even go in there and post, hey, you guys know any good marketing people? Yeah. There's probably 4 or 5 other chief architect website groups that you can join, or Facebook groups you can join. You could join the Chief Talk group and collaborate with people and share your information. I think it's really a lot of fun.
And Robin, from the design perspective, there's no way we're hitting every design we ever put together 100%. You know, it's nice to have that second set of eyes.
And it's not just about sharing information either. It's basically my whole business is based on collaboration, where I go in and I help another business fill in the gaps where they don't have the resources to do it. Yeah. Whether it's knowing Chief well enough or too much work coming in, that's basically all I do.
Yeah. So anyway, we're about out of time here. You guys, thanks for your info. Again, check out our summit we've got coming up in 2023. Dan, John, Robin, and Renee will be there. There's the gang that will be taking care of everybody. My sister Linda and Mary, and my brother Doug.
Hang on, don't change it yet. You're not sharing your screen again.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I was just telling Chris this morning that John takes care of this for me now. So there we are, and here's the gang: Linda and Mary, my sisters, and my brother Doug, and then Doug's wife Avis, and then John's wife Patty. They'll cook all the food, and they'll come for the food, stay for the training. It holds true here.
Nice.
But you can check out some testimonials. We've got pictures from past events here. It's a 2-week event. It's 2 one-week events is what it is. We're just doing back-to-back events. And so you sign up for the week, and got a little bit of a summary of what we'll be covering each day. And here's where it's going to be at the Black Stallion. It's a 24-bedroom event house. I think it's 20,000 square feet, but that's where we'll be doing our training. Here's the layout of the building. We have these, the ones in red are already sold. So I don't have it. We're selling out quickly, guys. So once it's sold, it's sold. So if you're interested, check it out. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. I mean, I'm really excited about this. Just to have, Robin and Renee there with us too. I mean, yeah, we're going to kick some royal butt in the chief architect world. Can we say that?
Yeah, well, you did. Well, you did, so you're okay.
So anyway, so check it out, and love to have you here. And then we still have room in our Bloomington or Minneapolis event coming up a week from Monday. So that's going to be a 3-day hotel conference room event. So if you're kind of a beginner intermediate user, we'll share a ton. John and I will share a ton of information with you in that event. So check it out. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Send me your contacts or people that can help others with their website stuff. I would love to build a list of those kind of resources. I think that would be awesome. And whatever you can do to,
or even writing blogs. Somebody's doing
good writers. Finding a good writer, that's important.
I personally would love to know anybody that's selling stock homes. I'd love to have that as a show at some point. It'd be great to have someone guest appearance.
Stock plans, you mean?
Stock plans, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I do have a few contacts there, so let me know. I'll put you in touch with them. Cool. Simply about the giving guidance, not necessarily on the design components. You get SEO and you get someone following you, and when they need what you sell, well then. I didn't read that very well, but we get that. Thank you. All right, everyone. Thank you. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Actually, we'll see you Tuesday if you have employees in your business. Okay. So be sure to check out, let's see, it's on our homepage here. So you go to the homepage and you'll get an email this afternoon. But check out down on the homepage here, this one right here. If you have employees, you could qualify for some serious leftover COVID dollars. I don't know how long this program runs, but I know there's still a lot of money there. And you can qualify for up to $26,000 per employee in your business. And there are people getting that. And Jerry Packard runs a company that will help you through the process of doing that. You don't have to do anything. So see you guys. Be good.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.